our submission. Sports is education. The question then is, how? We are submitting that if it's education, if you're preparing kids for the world outside, and as you know, it's not just about preparing for adult life. There's also the issue of kids handling growing up. Growing up is tough. Bullying, peer pressure, fitting in, your consciousness about the body. There's lots of things going on. Growing up is tough. So let's not only think of sports as, oh, it's going to be good for this guy or for this kid when they take up a job. Sports is required for the kids to handle growing up itself. So the physical development part of it, there's an empowerment part, there's employability, which might not be relevant for some of your schools, and academic concepts. I'll quickly give you some snapshots of what we tried to do and some of the learnings we had. Please. So one is this. All of you know this. Let's get them to play. Let's have a structured curriculum, age-appropriate lesson plans. Let's embrace limitation of space, limitation of time, assess each child. Sports as part of education. But one of the important pieces that we figured out is in this, a lot of time the girls are not getting as much importance as they should. That's a reality. I seem to have an enlightened audience. Let's go back and look at data. Very often girls are not playing as much. If I were to make all the girls wear the same variables and figure out number of steps, you will find some gaps there. Empowerment of the girl child as a part of education. We have trained 4 lakh girls on self-defense. And I'll just read out. It says, छात्राओं ने मजनू को पकड़कर की धुनाई. What it means is girls, students beat up a roadside Romeo. Empowering the girl child to be confident and to be able to handle issues is part of education today. The unfortunate reality is today's world requires the girl children to know self-defense. If it does, then education has to embrace it. Education cannot stay with academic concepts. Employability. And this is not coming from getting a job perspective, but from a point of view that if all of us don't know what is a good sports program, how will I demand a good sports program? As a parent, as a school leader. So can I get my children to understand what a good sports program is? So we are running in 150 odd government schools, vocational courses for physical education and sports, where 900 kids are picking up this as a vocational course, and then they're learning what it means to give a good sports experience for children. How do you organize it? How do you plan it? How do you execute it? So you get kids to work with your hands. Somebody talked about working with your hands. Somebody talked about hands-on learning. Sports is hands-on learning. Sports is about going out there and learning what you can do. What rules are there? What can I bend? What can I break? It's all there. It's a medium which is there. It's free. You can do it. It's available. We just need to do it. It's not something that we need. It's not something that we need to. It's not no technology. It's a human technology which exists anyway. One of the submissions that I want to make is, I learned as a student, students today are learning, my kids are learning, teachers are doing a great job of teaching in silos. So English, maths, history, science, geography, fantastic. But kids are not able to connect the dots. And nobody is connecting the dots for them. So if I take, let me give you an example. The submission we have is the sports as a medium is engaging and can help kids connect the dots. Let me give an example. So let's say Barcelona beat Madrid 2-0. For some of you who follow sports, or some of you know that the kids do follow football. We want to enable a teacher with a simple, this message goes to around 100 odd schools every day, which is yesterday's sports news, which means yesterday Messi scored 2 goals and beat Madrid 2-0. That's the news yesterday. The teacher gets a note. And she reads out. She doesn't need to know Messi. She doesn't need to know Ronaldo. She doesn't need to know sport. That's fine. And she says, Barcelona beat Madrid 2-0. What do you think will happen? Will your kids start paying attention first? Saying, what is this teacher saying? How does she even know who Messi is, who Ronaldo is? One. The next step is, Barcelona beat Madrid 2-0. Madrid is a place from where Queen Isabella funded Christopher Columbus to go look for India. What you are teaching as history is something that is connected to what I am seeing as a student. As a child, I'm watching TV. I'm seeing Madrid, but I'm not connecting a dot that what my teacher is teaching me as history of Madrid is what I'm learning, what I'm seeing every day. The next step of that is, but instead of reaching India, Christopher Columbus actually found West Indies, which is where Usain Bolt is from, and he actually is not from Jamaica. He's a West African who got there because of slavery, and therefore British rule. So you can connect the dots, but use Messi, use Ronaldo, use Usain Bolt, interspersed to weave the story and help the kids connect the dots. We are doing this around 70 odd schools. We're sending this every day, and the school teacher is then using it. We are then making a book, which is to say, if you want to teach geography, and you want to talk about South America, let's talk about Argentina, which is the second largest country in South America, which is where Messi is from. And here's a video of early days of Messi in Argentina. The Amazonian forest, but that's where the Rio Olympics happened. The kids are connecting to the sports side. Can you use that medium which is available and free and connect the dots? So I just want to leave it with that. Sports education, it is possible. It is worth it. The medium is available for you. We just need to figure out how we can pay attention to it and solve the problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Ms. Vibha to felicitate Mr. Shaumil Majumdar. Can we have you on stage?
Ms. Shaumil, it was wonderful to hear you on sports. And I'm starting the parameters, and we're going to start the awards for the top 20 CBSE ranked schools all across India. And before that, I'm just reading the parameters before I hand over the mic to Ms. Afeen. Thank you, Ms. Vibharaj. Thank you, Ms. Shaumil. The school and the preschool ranking survey initiated by educationtoday.co as part of its first annual corporate print education edition, which happened last year, and the second one now, to light the need of educational institutions to be brought to the forefront so that they are recognized for their top-notch service to the education sector. The survey is an indicator of the increased acceptance of its credibility to rate and rank all ACE institutions across the country. The survey will also provide the opportunity for institutions to develop and upgrade constantly for the benefit of the community as a whole. The school and the preschool survey, I'm talking about the K-12 school as well as preschool survey, was meticulously created by a brainstorming panel of varied educators and other professionals looking to create the perfect survey from previous research conducted. The survey was based on research that focused on the present scenario of the education sector in India, the need for educational institutions, the number of private institutions, the quality of education imparted, the number of students being educated, the satisfaction level of the consumers, and the relationship between service providers and the consumer. A set of questions pertaining to parents, teachers' involvement in infrastructural provision, tuition, security, hygiene, staff, and management, extracurricular activities, sports education, and syllabus, among others, were highlighted. The panel thus created a set of questions for schools and preschools. The first survey questions was addressed to the educators of schools and preschools, and the second to parents and students. The survey was made accessible through online platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn. Surveys were sent by mail to schools and preschools. Institutions were also informed about the survey through personal calls. A period of 6 months from May 2016 was utilized for the purpose of the survey. The survey created by an expert panel was distributed throughout the country. The forms that were filled and sent back to the educationtoday.co head office was analyzed and categorized by a team of company experts. The team of experts conducted a survey on 2,000 schools and 200 preschools from all across India. The schools and preschools were chosen based on previous credibility and the word of mouth. Of the 200 schools, over 300 responded. Of the 200 preschools, over 80 responded. The survey was also left open to other participants who could access the survey form through the various social media platforms. To keep an accurate classification of schools intact, the survey team of education.co classified the schools into CBSE, ICSE, international categories according to the syllabus. The preschools were classified into Montessori, daycare, and pure preschool and preschool as well as a daycare. Questions in the survey were aggregated under 8 parameters. Each of the parameter was marked out of total 100 points. The following award categories were devised based on the survey. Top 20 CBSE schools of India, top 20 ICSE schools of India, top 10 international schools of India, top 10 boys and girls schools of India, top schools city-wise, upcoming schools, parameter-wise CBSE schools, which parameter you are really good, doing good at, parameter awards ICSE schools, top 20 preschools all across India, then parameter awards for preschool, and Parents' Choice Award, and last but not the least, the Jury's Choice Award. So based on the accurate data from the survey, an exclusive panel dedicated to churn out the precise results, parents' perception and educators' perception, the school and preschool survey is an authentic dedication to stellar institutions of the country. Schools, that is K-12 schools and the preschools, featured in the following pages have been ranked according to their outstanding scores from the survey and will be awarded the India School Merit Awards 2016. The parameters are, let me tell you, individual attention to students, infrastructure provision, safety and hygiene, value for money, co-curricular and community services, innovative teaching, sports education, and academic reputation. And I'll hand over to Afeen, and she'll invite Mr. N.A. Harris on the stage to give away the awards.
Thank you so much, Usha.